Thanks for tuning in to our seller interview series. Up today, we've got a service business for sale in the e-commerce and affiliate niche. Created in October 2010, this business makes $6,485 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this site is 40830. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We got the seller with us today to go through the business. I cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Adil.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Before we dive into the questions here, just to give a quick summary of the business, as I mentioned, it was built in October 2010. The monthly revenue is $10,485, expenses at $4,000 for that total net profit of $6,485. That is over a 6-month average. And with the sale of the site, along with the domain and all the content, the actual team that helps make this business possible will be included in the sale if the buyer wishes, which includes 2 developers and 2 designers. So with all that said, Adil, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses? Is this kind of your first one, or have you ran several?
Well, no, it's just my first business actually. I was working as a head of online, head of e-commerce for a retail company in Manchester in the UK, and I worked there for about 6 years, and then I decided to set up my own small company, and that was my first business. So, we didn't have any investment, so it sort of grew organically, and then I hired a developer and a designer. Then after a couple of years, we hired another designer and developer, and I'm happy with that. So far, it's making a decent amount of money, and I don't have to sit on in the office all the time. That keeps me going.
So how did you come up with the idea for this business in particular without actually, giving away the niche or anything? Was this just kind of a natural progression of what you were doing before? You just decided to, I can do this as my own business, or what was that story there?
I think it's a natural progression because I did a degree in computer science, and then I started working as a web developer initially myself, and then I moved to a marketing agency. I worked as an affiliate manager there, and then I moved back to development again. So it was a mix of affiliate marketing and web development. Experience came in place when I decided that I could combine both of them to start offering, design and development services to this particular niche. And there were very few players in the market at the moment who could do that, and there is a decent amount of business coming around. Because most of the clients we have, for example, they have the marketing background, but they don't have the design and development background to combine it both together to design and develop these sort of projects. And that's where we come in.
So basically the business, how it makes money is more or less these marketers come and they buy your services, and you handle all the development and design for what they are trying to accomplish. Is that more or less correct?
Exactly. That's what we are backbone for them, actually, for all the design and development services in that particular niche.
Yeah, this business is making a healthy profit. It's in a cool niche. So why are you selling the business? Why not keep it and grow it?
Well, it's been about 6 years I've been running the business, and plus also I'm running another business with my father. Actually, we have a restaurant here in Pakistan, also one in Abu Dhabi, and now we are actually thinking to open up another restaurant in Manchester. So that business is sort of my family going on for the last 20 years or so, and so we've decided to open up one in Manchester. So I'm going to give that full time, basically, because it requires full-time commitment. And there is a decent investment involved in that from my father and from myself. So that's why I think I want to give full-time commitment to that business for the next couple of years.
So you're actually going from online to offline. That's intriguing.
It is. So I've been doing that since but I've been doing that since I was a kid with my father. My father has restaurants since I was a kid. So I know how to run a small restaurant and a takeaway, and I think it's time for me to dive into it because my brother is in the same business, my father is in the same business. So it's sort of a family business running out. So I think it's
growing it across intercontinental. It's cool, man.
Definitely. Plus, I love cooking, so I think I'll get into it now, which makes sense for me.
So we already kind of suggested what your plan is. You're reinvesting into this restaurant. But moving back into the business here, what was the trajectory of this business? So you open it up, you start this business. What was the first few weeks like, or the first few months? Was it rough? Did you get a lot of clients coming in right away, or was it kind of a slow build for you?
Well, it was pretty good from the beginning because I picked up a couple of projects actually from freelancing websites. And that's where I decided maybe I should leave my job, which was a full-time job, and I I was a senior manager for e-commerce, and I thought I could make probably about the same or more money working from home, and probably less than 40 hours a week. And that's where I picked up these projects and I set up the company so we could set up a brand as well on the other side so we can see what we can do. And that sort of, helped me. And plus, I was doing full-time job for 6 years. And then I thought, because my parents live in a different country and plus I do a lot of traveling and business helps me basically. I could manage it from anywhere in the world, wherever I'm sitting through the internet. That's very easy, very convenient for me. So that flexibility plus the decent amount of money in there, so I think that was the core benefit in there for me. So, which let me, drop my full-time job, which was again pretty good in 2010 in October when I left them in Manchester.
That's great, man. This is a pretty inspiring story in of itself, Now, with this business, is there anything, I'm sure you learned a ton of lessons as you're building and running this business, but is there any one thing that worked really well for you? Maybe even something you might apply to your restaurant business? Anything that stands out?
I think managing the client very closely is very important. All my clients have got my Skype ID, they have my WhatsApp ID, they have my phone, email. So no matter it's day or night, if they have any problem, they can contact me. So that sort of, trust when you have to build with your clients. And that's very important because I've got clients from Australia, I've got clients from USA, I'm somewhere in the middle. So that sort of, trust when they build with me, yes, a deal is going to be there, it's going to deliver. And that sort of trust they have. That's why most of our clients have done more than one project with us. So once we finish a project, they're really happy with our service, how we provide them. They're very happy with the communication we have, also with the product. And they normally hire us for the second and third projects as well.
Awesome, man. So with that said, on the flip side here, is there anything that just didn't work? Something that you're like, man, I really wish I hadn't done that?
Nothing in particular, because we didn't take any money from anyone. So there is no sort of investment involved in there. Even though a couple of investors came in between and they said, we're happy to invest in you. But we thought that it's not going to add any value.
Right.
And because I didn't have a big plan at that time to open up an office and work from the office, because initial aim was not to work from the office.
Right.
That's why yeah, so that's why we didn't take the investment at that time. But I think there are no core issues. I think the only thing you have to think about it is you have a team based overseas, you have the clients based overseas. So you just have to be ready to give time to both sides, basically. So you're sort of the bridge in between the team and the client. So you just have to, so it doesn't matter if it's day or a night, if the message is there, if the email is there, you just have to be there for the clients and for your team.
Now, as far as traffic to your site, how are you getting your leads and customers? Is it people finding you organically? Are you running kind of ads or just, pure word of mouth referral style of lead generation?
Well, we don't do any paid marketing, to be honest. I mean, in 2012, we did exhibit in the A4E exhibition in the UK, and we don't do any paid marketing anywhere. But we do have an SEO guy in office, and he just makes some links from the other websites and relevant blogs and forums, people who are talking about, this niche particularly, and they can't find help, and that's where we go and advertise it. But not paid advertising, it's mainly SEO, basically. So most of the traffic comes through there. Plus, as I said, I mean, once we work with the customer, with the client in that particular niche, and they know that we can deliver another one. So people normally come back after 6 months or 1 year that I've got another project for you. Or maybe the people most of the clients normally come back with upgrades or customizations, or adding more stuff into it, changing the strategy. And they know that we can deliver that much better, much quicker. So that's why we always have ongoing, clients coming back to us. As far as the marketing question is concerned, as I mentioned, I mean, a bit of SEO involved in there, but nothing paid so far. All the traffic comes through organically to our website when they, for example, search for the particular niche and designers and developers, and on about 6-7 keywords, we normally appear on the first page. So we get the inquiry from the client, and then the communication begins from there. We normally arrange a Skype call or a phone call to go through their requirements, and then we give them the proposal, and then this is how we start working with all the clients. But we give them the references. They can go and talk to other clients, for example. We have done projects with them. For example, if you come from the USA and you want to have a particular niche website in USA, then we'll give you references within USA. You can call them, you can talk to them, and you can ask them their experiences about us. And the same happened just a week ago. A new client from USA came in, and he was a bit hesitant to work over the internet with us. And when we gave them the references in the USA with 2 other clients who just finished their projects with us, and he was happy to sign the contract with us because that sort of relation we have to build is the trust in there, and a lot of communication on a daily basis with all the clients.
Now, do you handle kind of the point of sale with those clients, or do you have kind of an account manager that is doing that?
Well, my senior developer acts as the CTO, and he does what I do initially. I do all the business development and understanding the requirements from the clients, and if I need to discuss it with my CTO, I would, because he's a bit more technical than I am. So all the technical details are normally discussed with him, and then we analyze it, basically how much time it's going to require, what cost should we put on the project, and then if the customer or the client is happy, we sign the contract. So I do all that stuff beforehand, and then once we sign the project with the client, we have a panel called iLead Project Management Panel. It's a web-based one. So then I assign the team, a CTO, and assign the client as well. So we can all sort of, share information and work in a group for the project when it's been assigned with us for the next, let's say, 4 to 6 weeks. I do most of the client communication, even through the Skype on a daily basis. I normally have 2 meetings with each client in a week. And if my CTO requires to do any technical communication, he will also arrange the meeting with the client. As I said, initially, the business development side is on me, so I do all that, making sure the contracts are done properly. We have all terms and conditions written in there, and then the client has paid the money. For example, we do 50-50, 50 we take initially and 50 we take afterwards when we finish the project with the client. But my senior developer, who is the CTO, he also contacts and communicates with the client on a daily basis. Because when we finish we work very closely with each client. On a daily basis, when we finish a job, we upload everything we have done and we give feedback to the client. So basically they can check it from their side and they can give their feedback as well at the same time. So it's not just we run off the project and we come back after a month. It's on a daily basis. We're working very closely with each client.
Cool, excellent. Now, when it comes to your earnings, you kind of have 2 main different kinds of clients, the affiliate and the e-commerce. Would you say that's about even split, or are you seeing a lot more e-commerce owners using your service or a lot more affiliates using your service?
No, well, e-commerce, I think the last e-commerce project we did was 2 years ago. So it's very rare. Yeah, well, for the last 2 years, especially, all 100% clients are specifically in the affiliate niche at the moment. For example, cashback websites, coupon group deal websites, price comparison websites, or even any other comparison website. And we also do affiliate software. If someone wants to have that close. So it's mainly in the affiliate marketing, in that particular niche, basically, and that's where we have the edge, because there are very few companies even in the world who actually can help you design and develop a professional cashback, for example, website, integrate with affiliate networks, integrate with payment processors. So we have done that over and over again. That's what the clients come back to us, and they know we can deliver. If we have delivered to over 100 and, well, at the moment we have done over 110, less than 120 projects.
Wow.
And then if they know we have finished over 120 projects in the last 6 years, and if they're looking for something very similar, then exactly we can deliver for them very easily, because we have the experience, we have the team, and we have the skill set.
That's interesting. I would have totally thought it was more e-commerce people with, how much e-commerce is exploding on the scene. That was super interesting. How stable are the earnings? Would you say that average monthly earning is pretty consistent month in, month out? Is there any kind of seasonality that you see within your business?
Well, I think only in December it can go down slightly, because in December normally clients go on holidays. We don't get a new project in December. If someone even wants to start, they normally start when they come back in January. And for example, this month, February, is going to be probably the best month in the last 12 months, we could say that. Already I've done over 10,000 worth of revenue, and I think there is another 10,000 before the end of the February. So that's going to be about 20,000 in there, hopefully.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I think, yes, there's a bit of seasonality involved, but not too much. It's only in December time when, a lot of clients have gone on holidays, even who are already working with us in November. So we sort of paused their project because they said, can you please pause it when we come back? And we started that when they came back in January. So December can be a bit slow, but that's good for us, so we can take some time off as well.
Right, yeah.
Yes, my team normally takes about 2 weeks off as well in the last week, 2 weeks of December. So that's okay with us. So it doesn't make a big difference. Apart from that, all year round is quite consistent. We do get new projects. We don't take small projects like, 500 worth of project or 1,000 worth of project, because that's not run. With a small team with specialized, skill sets, we take projects which has a decent value, at least 5,000 worth of project in there. And then we do about 2 to 3 projects in a month. And that helps us to manage the clients easily, to manage the projects, and if at least there's a decent amount of, revenue, the profit involved in there.
Definitely, man. So let's pretend for a second here that you're going not sell the business and you actually want to grow the business more. What would be the least risky path you'd focus on to grow?
Well, if I want to grow the business, I mean, what I have to do is probably start aiming for the higher end affiliates who require the design and development service, because there are so many affiliates at the moment, especially the online publishers who have similar websites. For example, if you have a blog and you have thousands of users on your website, for example, millions of users, but you're not monetizing them, for example, and what we could do, for example, we could set up a cash or a coupon website within the same domain you have it, so your users can start monetizing, so you can start earning money. So there are tools available at the moment in the industry, like, publishers, network publishers, and there are some of them. You can advertise to them, for example, to get more business. But we didn't do that. Why? Because we're already getting decent amount of inquiries, decent amount of business, and we didn't think of expanding it at that time at the moment.
Cool. Now, on the flip side here, let's say you were incredibly risky, threw caution to the wind, and wanted to grow the business as fast as possible. Would you be focusing on the same steps that you just mentioned there, or would you do something different?
There is no particular strategy, to be honest with you. I mean, it depends how you wish to expand it. I mean, if you want to expand within the same niche, even within the same niche, there are so many directions. For example, we have not started our own affiliate websites, but we have seen some of the top, for example, affiliates. I mean, they've become affiliates themselves. So if the new owner wants to take over, what he has in that case, he has over 100 websites which we have developed for clients, and we also own the source code. So that source code can be used to develop new websites, and they could become affiliates themselves. So they have all these website source code and experience written behind it. So that's one side of the segment. The other one, if we want to get more design and development business within the same niche, we could go on the freelancing website. Millions of projects are there on the freelancing websites, basically, in terms of this particular niche. People who are looking to set up cashback coupons, price comparison, or any other website which has the capability to monetize somehow the website through the affiliate networks or this particular niche in there. So when I say affiliate marketing, it doesn't mean just within the affiliate marketing. It means a website where you can actually monetize. For example, we have just finished a website for a UK client, and that's in the beauty section. So it has several sections. It has the shopping section in there from the affiliate network, so you could search for a beauty product, for example, and it also has the e-commerce element in there, where you could search for a specialist, like a skin specialist in London, and then you can make a booking, and then you could earn some portion of that booking from the specialist, basically. So it's a mix of affiliate marketing, e-commerce, depending on what the client requirements are. So we don't go to the client and tell them we have the cashback TMS we can offer you. They come to us and they tell us these are our requirements. Can you deliver that for us? So it normally becomes affiliate marketing, e-commerce, and a bit of both together in there, and that's where we come in.
Interesting. So what do you think the biggest risk to this business is? Is there anything that stands out to you, like, anything at all that poses a risk that a buyer should be aware of with this business?
I think you just need to understand the concept of affiliate marketing, how people would like to have the websites, because these websites tend to generate the money from the commissions, and the e-commerce stores, for example, are being advertised on these websites. It could be a banner, it could be a link, it could be a product, it could be an API or a strategy altogether, or a lead in there. So you just need to understand those concepts, which are fairly straightforward, anyone who works in the affiliate industry. So if you're familiar with the affiliate industry, how it works, because in that you have affiliate networks on one side, you have the retailers on the other side, and you have the affiliate in between who is making the transactions between those, and you are sort of supporting the affiliate to deliver the best service, basically. So you just need to understand the concept where you are. You need to understand your product placement, where your product would go. And that's only bit, if you're an experienced designer and developer, you can do great coding, great websites. But if you don't understand affiliate marketing, you will struggle. So if you understand affiliate marketing, you're a great developer and designer, then you can take over the project very easily. You can understand the concept, we can give you training, and you'll take over the project within like 2 weeks or 3 weeks very easily. So I think that's where you need to understand a bit that the niche, and there are great resources available about the niche, how you can understand it. I mean, from the affiliate marketing forums. Plus, this industry is growing very fast. this industry is growing very fast. I mean, in the UK, US, and Europe, it's growing 15% each year. Especially in India, for example, it's growing over 30% each year. New e-commerce stores are opening up everywhere in the world. And when they open up a new e-commerce store, what they look for customers. And what they have to do, they have to set up the marketing campaign. For example, they set up the search engine campaign, they set up the SEO campaign, social media campaign, or email marketing campaign, and with that, they also set up the affiliate campaign. So every single store which is going online is setting up the affiliate campaign because, first of all, it's much easier for them and it's cost effective because they only have to pay when the sales are being made. So they're not paying anything just for getting the user on the website like a window shopper. They're only paying when sales or leads actually happen. So that's what they have to pay. So, and it's growing very rapidly, as I mentioned. I mean, as e-commerce is growing, affiliate marketing is growing at the same pace on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. The industry is exploding as more countries get online. As you mentioned, India is going to be a big one as more and more people start pumping into, getting connected to these kind of industries. So with that said, what kind of amount of work are you doing right now to maintain this business? What kind of work would the buyer expect themselves to do to maintain this business?
Well, I spend about 20 to 30 hours per week on this business. And most of my time half of my time is spent with the clients, let's say, on giving them feedback on daily basis, and I have to arrange a Skype call with them. So, and half of my time is spent with my own team, just to make sure they're getting the project in the right direction. Even though we have the hourly project management panel, where all the clients drop their daily comments, but I still stay in between to make sure it's been done exactly as the client requires it. My time is spent in between them as a bridge to make sure everything is working perfectly. Even though if it's more technical questions, I have a CTO who is a senior developer. He could take over that very easily. But this is where I come in. I mean, I sit on Skype or on my project management panel on a daily basis to make sure things are getting done in the right direction.
And now, is there any kind of skills or requirements you suggest a buyer to have?
I think, as I mentioned, that they just need to understand this niche, affiliate marketing, how it works. Secondly, if they have a bit of technical background, for example, development background, it could be in any language, but we use PHP, MySQL. If they have skills in PHP and database is called MySQL, they can understand the technical aspects as well. But apart from that, they just need a bit of project management skills in there. So on one side, they're managing the clients. On the other side, they're managing the team who's working on it for you. So I think a bit of project management skills in there, soft skills, client communication skills, which the buyer would probably have it, whoever is taking over. But the core skills which they need to understand, if they have a bit of technical background, development background, that would be great. Even though they don't, the CTO can help them. But I think if they do have it, so they can answer the questions if clients are asking them directly. Otherwise, you have to redirect all the clients to the CTO. And CTO, 70 to 80% time is spent with other developer and the designers to get the job done rather than, just answering questions on your behalf to the client.
Right. Okay, so moving into some wrap-up questions here. Would you be willing to sign a non-compete, basically saying, like, hey, look, I'm not going to go start this business right after you buy it from me?
Oh, yes, I'm happy to do that. I'm not setting up another agency at the moment, so I have no plans for that. So if someone wants me to sign that contract, I'm happy to do that.
Excellent. How much support would you be willing to offer the buyer?
I'm given 4 weeks of my time free of charge to the new buyer, so I can make him understand about the industry, about the projects and the clients, how we work with them, the process we have it. I'll pass on all the information, pass on all the knowledge, and work with him in the first 4 weeks on a couple of projects so they can understand how I communicate with my team and how we manage the clients on the other side. So whoever is taking over, he doesn't have to worry about that. We're just throwing all the information on him. No, I'll be there initially for the first 4 weeks full time. And even after that, for the next 4 weeks, if they need me, I'll be there on a daily basis if they need to discuss anything. I just want to make sure the company doesn't die if someone is taking over. I want to make sure that the other person who's taking over is passionate and who wants to take it forward. As far as they need my help, I'm going to be there. But at least for the first 4 weeks, I'm going to be there full time for them.
Excellent. Cool. Yeah, definitely want someone who expands the business, right? That's good. Now, obviously, the best case scenario here for you and for Empire Flippers is that someone comes in, buys at a full list price, full value for what we're asking for. But would you at all be open to a split or earn out, say like 80% up front and then maybe 20% on the condition of certain amount of training being completed or something along those lines? Would you at all be open to that?
I'm flexible. So if someone comes to me with decent terms in there, so I could look at that. So there is no fixed scenario at the moment. I just want to make sure the companies, whoever is taking over, can take it forward. And it adds value to you, plus I get a decent amount of return as well for working on it for the last 6 years.
Definitely, definitely. That's good. And obviously, that's going to be case by case basis. But so before I ask you my final question here, Adil, I just want to give a quick summary again for everyone listening in out there on YouTube or on the actual marketplace listing. Again, this business was built in October 2010, has a monthly revenue of $10,485, and the expenses are sitting at $4,000 for that total net profit of $6,485. That is over a 6-month average. And with the sale of the business, obviously the domain and all the content will be included with the sale, but also if the buyer so wishes, as well as the team, which consists of 2 developers and 2 graphic designers. So my final question here for you is, what is your best pitch in 30 seconds or less on why someone would want to purchase this business?
I think if you, for example, if you're a senior developer and if you're working full time, or if you have a small agency who haven't got experience or portfolio in the affiliate marketing, I think you should buy that company because first of all, it gives you flexibility that you can work from anywhere in the world. It doesn't have to be in the office. And secondly, there's a decent amount of money involved in there in terms of revenue and profit. The margins are really good, and this company will give you the backbone to present yourself as a specialized e-commerce and especially affiliate marketing expert in design and development. And affiliate marketing is increasing, as I mentioned, each year, 15 to 20% in every country, especially in the Southeast Asia and India and Malaysia, these sort of countries, it's expanding even 30%. So you will get new business coming up, and if you do a bit of marketing, promotions, and I think you can even reach the bigger side of affiliates, they call them the super affiliates, basically, to become the backbone of them as a design and development agency. So if you have a technical background and if you have affiliate marketing background, that would be a bonus. And I think this company can give you all those, credibility at the back end to go and pitch for new businesses and even bigger businesses in the particular niche.
Definitely. So I think that's a good pitch, especially for someone who has an affiliate marketing background. Like you said, definitely will be very helpful. So for everyone out there, if you're watching this on the YouTube video or you want more information, you're on our marketplace listing. First of all, the link will be below the video, but if you're on our actual marketplace listing and you want more information, feel free to click the button, become a depositor. It's super easy. All you have to do is click that button, make a deposit, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. So Adil, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.